Hello YouTube and welcome to my channel. I am ConstantRestart. I'm a fairly new creator on YouTube. I have about 8 videos that I've done over the last 2 months and they're chaotic at the best of times. A little bit about me. I'm actually a primary school teacher, hence why sticking to one video a week has already been challenging. But I'm a primary school teacher in Aotearoa, New Zealand, right down the bottom of the world. There is a bell in the background, and for a surprise twist on my usual videos where it's one of my 5 dogs, it's actually my cat being a menace today. But if you can potentially hear, it's kind of like a hissing breathing in the background. Oh, and there's the growl. She doesn't like to be called out. One of my dogs. She's old. And she doesn't like the cat swatting her face. Thankfully, she's very patient, even if she is a grumster. Anyway, at the moment, I have majoritarily been doing Minecraft videos, and I have started some clanfolk content. And so far, it's been really interesting. While I know what kind of content I like to watch when I am the viewer on YouTube, I'm really struggling to find a kind of happy medium in editing style, because I really like the quick snappy videos, but I also really like the long how-tos. I less like it when my cat's climbing on my keyboard. Hey. And I also really love role-playing videos. So depending on the video, or like when I'm editing the video, I start like, oh, I'm going to do this role play style, and then it turns into a how-to, and then it turns into a grind, and then it's just all over the place. So going forward, I really want to learn about smoothing that out and choosing a consistent style. And it might not be the same style all the time, but say the clan folk is a real kind of step-by-step video of completing the tech tree. I want that to be that style for that series. And then I need to actually have some goals in place for what I want to achieve, because it has been slightly chaotic and the filming can get really out of hand because there's no actual end goal. And so I just record as long as I feel like. And then when I get to editing, depending on how I'm editing it, it's either not enough content or it's too much. And it makes it a little bit frustrating sometimes. So I'm hoping that going forward, at least per series, I can find an editing style that, 1, I enjoy doing, and 2, that makes sense for the series. I mean, the role play style that I like is much better suited to something like Minecraft or any multiplayer game really that I can pull some of my friends into. But in saying that, I really like the craft survival, even though I'm really useless at it. But I'm hoping to get there at some point. When I learn to build nice builds, then I think I will be more content with the content I'm making. And I think having that will actually tie in really nicely with trying to have like episode goals instead of just seeing where it ends up. And a lot of my seeing where it ends up leads to me doing like 12 different things and having them either just started or half done, and then I've got too much for an episode. So I really need to figure that out. On top of that, if I have some goals and there's an end point, I might actually be able to finish a series, which goes against my name because I do restart a lot. A perfect example of that, when the cat gets away from the microphone, hello lady, is Oxygen Not Included. Love that game. Have over 600 hours in it. I've never made a rocket. And that is shameful. I have the spaced out DLC. I've occasionally opened up other planets. I just really enjoy the start setups of games, and it doesn't... thank you, Kat, for breaking my books. The kind of namesake of this channel, Constant Restart, is because as I learn, I like to restart and implement what I've learned, but that does mean restarting a lot. And while that is what my channel is now named after, it is also something that I want to work on not doing. So heading further into this journey, I guess, I have a lot of things that I want to work on, and I think it'll be fun. I'd also like to do these kind of, I don't know if it's like podcasty or blogging, nearly vlogging even. We check-ins, if not for the viewers, for myself to keep tabs on any goals that I'm setting and pushing forward, probably reiterating 1,000 times that I teach very unruly children that I adore very much, but they are little energy vampires and they are fantastic. But boy howdy, I do just as much work at home prepping as I do in the classroom face to face with the kids. So there are noticeable videos so far where I have borderline no energy, and I think it comes across quite clearly in my voicing that it's been a long day. But I'm hoping that by putting in some schedules and actually solidifying a time frame where I'm recording and editing, I can work on putting down some of my full-time job so I can have a break as well. And then that benefits not only the content that I want to make because I have more energy, it should in theory benefit me in the class as well because I'll have more energy to spend with the kiddos. Little side note, I also make a comic and I'm writing children's books, so I do keep myself pretty busy, which is probably another reason that I'm a tired little bean all the time. Again, I have 5 dogs and a cat, so there's a lot of time spent between training. Our youngest is, oh dear, he's either 9 or 10 months. I don't know. He's technically my sister's, but he lives with me. And our old boys are 14. And they're both brothers from the same litter. So there's a lot of needs to be catered to. The cat's like 2 and she's a menace. She's so mean to all the dogs, but like she loves them. But she is the boundary setter and keeper of our animal family, which is always fun. And I guess to make that relevant to this YouTube channel, it makes it really fascinating when I'm recording and editing, because my animals free roam when I'm home. They are quite often noise makers. And I've thankfully just moved back out into my studio, so we've actually got a bit more room for them and there's not as many people floating around the house, which is fantastic. But the animals are definitely a constant feature. I would have loved to set up like a cat cam or a dog cam as like just random little bits for anyone else who also loves some animals. But they're menaces and they float around. I would have better luck putting a camera out with the sheep or the cows. Literally any other animal on our farm would sit still longer than my crazy little indoor pets. But that's fine, and it's half the reason I love them. And I guess as a starting point, I don't have a lot more to talk about. In a way, this kind of introduces how often my brain ticks from one thing to another. which really doesn't help with recording or going back to that, trying to keep the same genre for a series. But this might be something good that actually forces me into sticking to those boundaries. So yeah, introduces me a bit. The channel is, as I said, very, very new. So as far as the future for that, there are a few more games I want to try. I am just loving Minecraft. I think when I first bought Minecraft, it cost about $4 New Zealand dollars. So it was quite a while ago. And it was delightful. And now with all the modded content, there's just so much more to do. The background film for this at the moment is the Expert Create, which you'll see just me getting confused a lot because I've never played the Create mod, but I thought it looked really good. And because it has such a good quest line, it's really kind of emphasizing for me that I should find a mod that has a clear quest line and focus on building through that. And I think that would be fun. But if you have made it this far through the video, fun fact, I had to get a new computer. And I finally got like a gaming computer. I've always had a gaming laptop. And it has been brilliant and done many things that I was assured it could not do. But it's been a beautiful wee machine. I have upgraded, as I said, to an actual PC, and the hope is that the games will run smoother and the editing software will run smoother. I've just changed to DaVinci Resolve, and apart from being confusing as heck, I think I'm starting to get the hang of it, so it should be fine. But the roundabout from that was I haven't been able to transfer a lot of my game files to the new computer, mainly because my old laptop, I have burnt it out a bit, and while it's going to be an awesome machine for continuing my comics and children's books, set up for all the art stuff, it's beautiful, but a lot of my files started corrupting, and I think it was really struggling to save to certain drives. So instead of pushing it much further, I've decided just to leave it. And as I said, all my art's always been kept on an external hard drive, and it has no trouble connecting to that at this point. So we're just going to hope that continues, because the new gaming PC, while it runs all my art stuff, I have a, what do you call this? A display tablet? Yeah, a display tablet. So like the tablet, the drawing tablet has the actual screen on it and you draw straight onto it as if it was a piece of paper, but not. It has a funny connection and it won't actually connect to the gaming PC. So I've upgraded and downgraded in a way. It's all a bit crazy pants at this point. And at this point, my whole rambling's a bit crazy pants, but with the topic being kind of an introduction, goals, hopefully what this channel will become, which is organized and with a point that my rambling really fits the bill. So I'm really hoping as time goes on, I'm going to be that little bit more confident behind the mic and I don't have to say every 5 minutes. I'm usually a pretty good talker. I could talk the ear off most people. So I'm not sure why that's not translating completely to my videos. I find it very fascinating. But I am hoping to become a bit more fluent with my in-game speaking, and then everything should be fine. That's pretty much all I need to work on, apart from, everything else I've mentioned. But we'll see. It's all a big learning curve. It's all very fun. And hopefully with these videos, I will be able to see how many times I trip over my own tongue. No, hopefully I'll be able to see how much I improve as time goes on. hopefully eventually this will also be a platform to communicate with the community. And yeah, I don't know, I'm looking forward to it. It should be fun. But I've rambled enough, and if anyone made it this far, absolute legends, I'm so sorry for your poor ears. However, until next week, I'm Constant Restart. Thank you for always listening to my ramblings, and bye-bye.